I have a query. What if I went to... This one looks nice. Oh, sweet mama. Heck yeah, baby. What's up, guys? It's Spinosaur here, back with another video. Today is a little bit different than what I usually do. Today, we are going to be doing a painting tutorial. I know, it's so crazy. So, this is the model we will be painting today. If you didn't see that first part, basically, it was this model by an amazing creator I don't really know the name of. If you go to Cults 3D, you can find it for a good price of around $8 to download it. It's a really sweet model. I had some trouble putting it together, so that's why it just looks kind of off if you look close enough. You can't really see it because it's like dark and stuff, but this is my workshop, so this is one of my favorite places to be. I have like a bunch of D&D stuff. I don't know Warhammer, but like I got like Monster Hunter stuff I haven't painted. I got D&D stuff I haven't painted, so I have a lot of painting stuff, so let us begin. Alright, so I got everything I really need. I got my brushes, which you always need. So I'm going to be using this one for like smaller details, this one for dry brushing. I have a really good technique for what we're doing today. And then I got our painting palette and some water up here. So here's the necessities of what you're going to need for this Balrog. So first of all, you're going to want... Ignore that. Ignore that noise. So you're going to want 3 paints. This is just... So you want 3 different colors of paints. You don't really need the black, so you can toss that aside unless you just want to paint it right off the bat. This is also a tutorial on how to paint any Balrog. So for dry brushing, you want to start off with a gray and then go to a white to get all those highlights. And then we have our red, yellow, and orange. I gotta shake these ones up because these are kind of annoying, but you got these 3 paints which are used for the fire, and that's about it. That's about all you need for the Balrog. So let us begin painting, baby. Alright, so we can see our Balrog is very, very beautiful. He has some cracked wings because I had a problem taking him off of the supports. He's highly detailed though, and I love it. So let's get our dry brush. I need to take this off my gray paint. Hold up, give me a sec. Okay, I got this plastic thing off my gray paint, so pop, and then grab our little thingamajig here, and then just squeeze the paint in. You don't want too much, because you're not going to use it that much. Put that aside, put the white in. I did a little too much there. That's okay, though. So, first, you want to start off, you want to grab your dry brush. I don't really have a dry brush, so I just got this thing. So, you want to lightly grab this gray paint. If you don't know how to dry brush, you just want as little paint as possible on your brush. And then you want to slowly dry brush. Just go over everything. Make sure there's not too many big details or whatnot. As you can see, like, there's some gray on him now, so it's giving him more, So what you want to dry brush on a Balrog is, you want to dry brush the flames, because the flames are, like, its main amount of detail, and also where all the light is going. I learned this from another tutorial, and I'm kind of combining all my art, all my miniature painting skills in one, so... Yeah, so you also want to put the dry brush where, like, you want him to be glowing, like over on his shoulder right here. But mostly, you want to start off with the flames. This is what I started off with. This this little Balrog right here. He's not as cool as what I'm going to be trying to paint, because this guy, he's actually going to be used in some D&D stuff for me here. So it's going to be, you also want to have a really good grip if you don't have like a painting thingamajig. I don't really know what's called, but you want a really good area to grip. So now going on to this sword, I want to dry brush the flames on the sword, not the actual sword itself, the flames on the sword. Right there, yeah. You want to dry brush as much as possible to get as much detail to show. Because pretty much you just want it to look snazzy is the thing. I got a little too much paint on this. But yeah, you just want it to look as snazzy as possible. You don't see, I accidentally messed up with the sword right there. But it's always okay if you mess up with it, because at least you're getting as much cool detail as possible. So you want to get it where you want it to be glowing. So I kind of want him to have like glowing plates right here, going on his legs here. Sorry, I keep moving him out of frame because I'm just trying to see it in the phone. This is my first time doing one of these types of videos, and my phone is in the way of me being able to see this thing. So if it keeps moving out of frame, I'm sorry. This is my first time doing this. So, and then you want to like do that, and then like a little bit up here on that as well. And if you actually print this model and want to paint it like how I'm going to be painting it, go ahead, watch this video. If you already have the model, or you wanted to know how to paint your model that you're printing. It also works for any Balrog ever, so use it how you want. So yeah, I'm just gonna also, I want to lightly dry brush on that face there, because I want him to have a beautiful glowing face, you know. And then you want to dry brush just as much as possible as you want. Don't dry brush the entire thing, because if you dry brush the entire thing, it loses its ability to look as snazzy as possible. So I'm just trying to dry brush the main areas, and it already looks pretty sweet even without the white. So it looks pretty sweet without the white, and I actually kind of like how this guy's actually already turning out, because it looks beautiful no matter what. So I'm just going to go over some other stuff in a bit, and I'll get back to you then. Alright guys, I'm back. That was not as painstakingly hard as I thought it was going to be. So I just got to get the paint off my brush here, but look at him. This Balrog already looks pretty sweet because of all that paint I applied to him. I kind of messed up here, but that's okay. I could just paint over with it with black, but it looks pretty good and snazzy, and that's how I want it to look. So you don't want it to, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but you don't want it to look too terrible, you know? And, sorry, I just got to reposition in my chair of power here. You don't want it to look too weird, so I just got to flick off this water here. This is going to be, I'm really ready for this paint, so you also want your brush to be very dry. So that's what I'm doing right now. Drying it off so it doesn't have so much. Okay, there we go. So now you want to grab your white paint, your really nice white paint. Come on, just get, yeah, this is a good amount of dry. Okay, so now next you want to go over lighter than what you did with the gray dry brush with the white. You want to go over, you just want to do one in one area and go over the gray. So this will highlight it and make it look even more detailed, pretty much. Believe it or not, this is my first time actually using this technique of painting. And you can probably tell because that face is kind of terrible there. Got a little bit of gray on my brush. That's okay, though. I can just always wipe it off, but you want this to be, you don't want it to be too crazy, so you just want it to, you just want to highlight where you want to highlight the most. So like just go over lightly with your brush here, over lightly over all the little gray highlighted areas, pretty much. It's pretty simple. I messed up there. You can always just wipe it off though if you mess up. It's pretty simple to understand. I'm not saying that you're dumb if you can't understand it. But it's pretty easy. It's a pretty easy strategy that you can use for any miniature. This is my first one I'm actually using it on, so yeah. I'm not done though, so when I'm done, I will tell you the other parts. I also have my own custom Space Marine people. I have my own custom Space Marine people. They are called the Bloodhorns. Got a pain in that mouth there. See how it looks more like illuminated? That's because I added the white there. So you want to add white enough where it looks illuminated enough. So basically you just dry brush it wherever you painted the gray. You don't want to do it too much, like how I'm accidentally doing on most of this actually. You want to do it enough so it just looks even more deep than what you did before. Now moving on to the back here, you can see how I have like little splotches of it, and I'm just trying to get paint on this thing when it doesn't want to get paint on it. But yeah, if you guys want to see more of these types of videos, like and subscribe on any of my videos. If you want to see me do more gaming stuff, just like and subscribe. If you want to see more of me on YouTube, like and subscribe. And my goal is at least to get 100 subscribers. So if you could do that for a poor old Spinosaur here, me, aka me, please do so. And I just really need the support, because I have had a dream for a long while to be able to have an awesome channel where I'm like popular and stuff, and people actually like enjoying my videos and stuff. As you can see, like for the sword here, I'm making like a white speck thing. That's for later. So you don't want it. So you want your fiery paint to be kind of wet, to be honest. You kind of want it to be wet so all of this detail can show on the model itself. So, yeah, that's looking really snazzy now because of all this paint I'm applying to it. So now I'm going to start dry brushing both of the colors. This is going to, don't really ever do this. I'm just trying to get a bit more detail in some places that I have not gotten detail, that I forgot to add detail on when I was painting this before. That took like a solid minute. Don't worry. This doesn't take that long. We're only at 12 minutes in this video, so it's not going to take this strategy for painting does not take 5 million years. And you should usually only use this for like D&D characters like this guy, because you don't want it to, because for like Warhammer, you want it to have like like Warhammer has its own specific style of painting, and this in D&D has its own style of painting. So they both have different styles of painting, and you don't want it to look like, you don't want your Warhammer, unless you're doing like flesh, to look like a D&D character, for so say. But like basically most Warhammer has like a specific look to it. Like the fleshy Warhammer, yeah, you can use this for it. But the like Space Marines and stuff, you can't you probably shouldn't use this strategy. I'm not trying to diss you or anything. I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know that you should try not to do this, but yeah. So now we have our Balrog all finished up and kind of ghost looking. I kind of want to leave him like this, make him like a ghost Balrog or something. I'll do that another time. But this thing looks pretty sick already. And I just love the way this guy is looking already. It's so beautiful. I can't stop saying it. he looks just every angle beautiful. Like this paint is basically already dry, so it's pretty easy. Now get your hook brush. I'm just joking. I have a hook brush for some reason. Okay, so now my orange is already pretty wet, I should say. So let's put it in my orange slot. So I got my orange. This one doesn't really need much. It's just, you don't want too much red, by the way. So the way I'm going to be painting these flames is not like, so I saw this one video, this one dude, he had it go like red to yellow. I want it to go from yellow to red. So basically what happens is it goes from here, so like the yellow's down here in like the hottest regions of him, and then it like doles out into fiery smoke or whatnot. So you want to start off with your first color. I gotta wet my brush actually, so the paint stays wet. You want to make sure your brush is wet enough so the paint stays wet enough. So you want to grab your yellow. You want to grab this beautiful yellow right here and go to the flames. So the flames, you find the base of it, right? And you just paint over all of it. And it should, when it dries, look good. I'm hoping it looks good when it dries. Oh gosh, if it doesn't look good, I'm going to be so mad. But this is a really big flame than the one I saw, because it was more like narrow than this. So yeah, I'm just basically just painting stripes at this point. Trying to do a little bit of dry brush. Go and put some yellow in his mouth there. And when this dries, it should look good enough. It can be wet. It can be dry enough if you want it to be. I'm not judging, but like still you don't want it to look terrible, pretty much. If you want a good glow up, you gotta make it look like a good glow up, you know? So now I'm just painting areas I want it to glow. I want him to have glowing on him. So like I'm just gonna start here, like painting yellow on his arm and hand here, on his arm and hand over here as well. And it's just gonna look like a banana Balrog. Banana Balrog. Banana Balrog for a while. And then for the sword, the sword. This guy doesn't come with a whip, so be mindful of that. For the sword, you just paint at the tip of the blade, pretty much. Tip of the blade. I'm really moving this guy around a lot. You just want to paint at the tip of the blade. This will make it look like it's getting hotter as it goes farther away from the blade. So basically just make the handle and the blade itself yellow. And you want to do multiple coats of yellow, by the way. You don't want to just do one and then be done. You want to do multiple, so you get as much yellow as you possibly can get on it. So I'm going to come back to you guys when I'm done with my yellow painting, and I'll see you guys when I'm done with that. Okay, I'm mostly done with my yellow painting. I figured that I would just unpause the video and show you guys how the progress is going. So it's going pretty good, actually. I just need to finish up the blade here, and then we'll start doing our layering technique, which is the first time I've actually done a layering technique. So that's gonna be a problem. Yeah. So I've never done a layering technique while I'm painting, but I know how to paint a miniature well. So I also forgot to do the flame here at the tip, so don't forget that flame. That is a order from Sir Spinosaur here. Do not forget that little flame at the tip of the blade. So now he looks like a nice little greeny yellow boy. Next, so we want to wipe off we want to get our brush all wet again. And we want to grab, and after all this yellow paint has dried, we want to get our oranges. So basically you just layer it up until it's red, pretty much. My orange paint is really watery, and I don't know why. So basically, you just want to go over with the yellow you want to go over the yellow a little bit and go up, pretty much. Kind of like how I'm doing on the blade here. And I'm also kind of going into the yellow to kind of give it off, to kind of make it like yellow and orange, kind of like a fiery look, you know? And you just want to go over all that yellow with your orange paints. So basically, it's supposed to look like it's yellow sort of fading into orange, into an orangey, fiery look. I want this guy to look like he's having smoke come off of him. So that's going to look really sweet when I'm done with it. For that part, you want to do gray dry brush and black dry brush, which I put my black paint away, so I'll have to grab that again. I accidentally grabbed yellow instead of orange. Shoot. So, yeah, so that's my tip. That's my tip for this next part of it. As you can also see, I'm also painting right here. I'm also painting everywhere on the flame now. So you don't want to not paint on the flame at all. Like, you still want it to look kind of dark, and that's why I'm leaving some like darkness, because I'm going to dry brush a few grays and blacks on there. But for now, I'm going to have it like this. So yeah, it's supposed to have like a fiery aesthetic at the center with the yellow. So that's basically what you want to do with the yellow there. It's going to look really sweet in the end, I promise you guys. I shouldn't have problems with that. Shoot. But it's going to look like a really sweet Balrog when we're done. I'm also kind of dry brushing this orange on the face here to make it look like its face is being illuminated. You also want to paint orange in the face, so it's like, oh, its mouth is fire. That's like kind of like how the movies did it. Because this is a movie Balrog, and I like the movie Balrogs because they're like really sweet looking monsters. Balrogs are actually my favorite monster in all of Tolkien's series. I do like, I don't think I've told you about this ever. I have a weird thing where I go into like different phases throughout the year. Like, one's like a Warhammer phase where I'm like really into Warhammer and I just like can't get my mind off of it. And then like the other's like a Lord of the Rings phase where I can't get my mind off Lord of the Rings and I just want to watch every single movie in one. And basically it's kind of a problem where like I can only focus like one thing. And I like thousands of things. And that's not, it's not bad, but it's just kind of repetitive, I should say. It gets annoying, and yeah. The Balrog is looking actually pretty sweet. I can't lie about that, guys. He looks like he's made of fire right now. I gotta do that front arm, and this thing does come with a bait. The model that I got and used, does come with a base. If you want to use that, I didn't use it because I didn't want to print that much of stuff. You can use it if you want. You don't have to. Sorry, that was my dad. He just did something. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, so basically there's a lot of stuff, and yeah. And guys, it's the school year starting for me. It is so close to school, literally the week after next week of me recording this video. is the school year, and I'm going into high school. It's gonna be crazy. I'm not ready for high school because I've never been in high school. So middle school was terrible for me. I had a bad middle school year, but I'm ready for a new school. New school, new me. I'm gonna get like a whole new style as well. That's what I've been trying to do, but yes, things haven't been working out entirely. So I'm gonna grab my yellow again, just a little bit of my yellow, and dry brush that on the tip of the blade so it looks like there's a bunch of yellow on the blade there, because I want to make it look kind of good with the blade here, and I want to make the blade look like it should, I should say. And grab more orange and go on this side a bit more from what I've been doing. But I say that when the paint dries, it doesn't look good as at first, but when the paint dries, it will look pretty sweet, actually. This guy is going to be a sweet Balrog when I'm done with it. I'll get back to you when I'm done with all my orange, and then we'll watch me do all the reds. Alright, I finished up the orange. I also put a little bit more yellow on some of the places. I also put more yellow on the blade to make it look a bit better. It looks much better on camera than it actually is. So, yeah. He looks beautiful, by the way. I love how he looks. So now on to our red. This one is going to be a bit more simple because I can dry brush this one because it's not as wet as yellow and orange. So you just want to dry brush it at the tips of your fires, and so it makes it the orange darker, the yellow makes the orange lighter, and the red makes it darker. So this is like 3 variations, and basically it just looks a whole lot better with the red. It makes it have a bit more detail to it. Yeah, it just makes it look a bit better than before. It basically, I'm gonna touch it up with some orange, but for now I'm gonna keep it like this. Yeah, but if your guys' school year is starting, I don't know where you guys are from or where you guys live, but if you guys' school year starting, good luck. Whatever grade you're going into, have a good year, do your homework, and I'm not gonna say that. Hydration is very key to having a good attitude in school. I figured that out a while ago. I'm just joking, but still hydrate. I do not have water with me, so I need hydration right now. So that's why I'm saying hydrate. Hydrate yourselves. The Spinosaurus commands that thee must hydrate these selves. But yeah, so basically just dry brush all of your main fiery areas with your red. It doesn't matter how vibrant the red is, you just want to dry brush it pretty much. The blade is one of my favorite parts because I did it really well. I love how this turned out. The blade itself turned out really good, and that's where I'm going to stop off with the blade, because the red is where you want to stop with your blade, your whip, or whatever or whatever you have. Even if you don't have anything, that's where you want to stop off with, because he's swooping it down, so it's going to be like not as much smoke. So now I'm going to go back with the orange and do a little bit of dry brushing, in a bit more dry brushing up here in these areas, so it doesn't look too like I just skipped a whole color, because that's kind of what it looks like, but it looks much better on camera. Again, oh gosh, yeah, it looks way better on camera, trust me, than it looks like in real life. Like, oh gosh, I messed up so many areas already. I don't want to mess up any more. But yeah, if you guys' school year is starting, have fun with that. School for me personally is not my favorite thing. I prefer to stay home and play video games all day, like how I have been doing this whole summer. I did going on a few camping trips. It was pretty fun, actually. We saw a bunch of moose up there and a bunch of goats. I also hiked my first 14er this summer, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Which, because I never go outside, but I really love it. Oh, by the way, for the primer for this guy, you want it to be black. You want it to have black primer, but you don't want a primer inside, or else your whole house is going to smell like spray paint. I learned that not from personal experience, just from somebody else. So, yeah. I also have a resin 3D printer. That's how it came out this smooth, and I didn't need to sand it. So resin 3D printers are better for this model, just saying. So now that I'm done with all my reds, and I'm just going to go over the main flame with just red one more time at all the tips there. Kind of what you did with the white, pretty much. Okay, now it looks like he's made of fire and death and meh. Okay, for the mouth here. The mouth, we're going to start on the mouth now. So for the mouth, you want to grab your yellow paint and just shove it up his throat, pretty much. Like, shove it up there and paint as well as you possibly can. If the paint in there is still wet, wait for it to dry. But you want the base of the mouth to be yellow. And then you want it to fade into orange. You want it to fade into orange, like what I got here, and then fade into its red. Kind of like that. I'm going to wipe off some of these teeth here. Yeah, that's how the mouth should look. I also should wipe off his face. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's how the teeth should look. And for the eyes, grab your yellow paint and very, very carefully dot it on his eyes. His eyes look so funny. And then if you want, you can wipe it away, which I just did. It makes it look like you can see the eyes better. And then you want to wipe all that away and then grab your orange again and then kind of fade it out a bit as well. Yeah, like that. Yeah, his eyes look kind of off, but that's okay. I got paint all over my finger. You will get paint on your fingers if you are in these hobbies. You will get paint on your fingers. The amount of times I've gotten paint on my fingers is annoying, so you'll have paint on your fingers. So now we're going to grab new paints. So our final new paints are going to be this black and this brown. Ooh. So you got pop my brown open and then squeeze in there, because that's going to be for the nails. He's going to have some glumturous nails. I don't know why I say glumturous. I even say it in my videos, just glumturous. Like, I don't know. I have problems. I do not know which one is my dry brush, because I basically just been dry brushing this whole time. As a really good tip for Balrog, just dry brush. It works really well. I really hope paint doesn't seep onto my desk. This is my desk. This is the workshop. There's the other part of the workshop where I have a bunch of stuff. This is also my gaming area, so I game. Basically, this is my YouTube studio. Yeah, it's not that cool, is it? So you want to grab your brown paint and you want to paint on his little toenails first, because they're bigger and easier. If you want to start off with a challenge, paint the fingernails. By the way, his finger fell off right here, so just letting you know that. I'm basically just saying that this dude is a battle damaged Balrog for all this stuff that fell off when I was taking him off of his supports. So yeah, there you go. There's some good toenail shots. Yeah, let's go. Good toenail shots. If you guys have not seen all my videos, go check them out. Like, you should check out my channel if you like video games like The Isle or Lethal Company, Content Warning, all those great games. Go check out my channel, because I play a lot of cool games. And if you like the channel, subscribe. If you don't like it, I don't care. It's your choice. But if you do like this video, at least leave a like or share it with your friends that also like Lord of the Rings or D&D or painting tutorials. This is actually my first painting tutorial, believe it or not. Yeah, it's really obvious, isn't it? But yeah, like, I would really love the support. And as I said before, my goal is to get 100 subscribers on my channel. So you do want to have nails on the wings. Next, you want to dry brush, sort of, oh, that's not dry brushing. You sort of want to dry brush a bit of brown on the wings from all the oranges and stuff. I kind of already did that over here, but you kind of want to just dry brush it away from that to make it kind of glow. But there you go. There's your Balrog without the smoke. Yeah, so you need to do the smoking bit. The smoking bit? What? The smoky bits. So basically, you grab your gray paint first. I've done a smoky thing before. I've never done a tutorial on it, but I've done it before. Have I? No, I haven't. So you just want to dry brush it at the tips. You want to dry brush your gray at the tips. Like at the tippity tips. So you enough where you can still see the red and not like be like, oh, there's no red in there anymore. He. Yeah, you still want to be able to see that beautiful red there. You don't want it to be so much gray where it just engulfs all the flame. You want it to be enough where you can still see the color and stuff. So yeah, so I did my gray part, and now you want to do the black part. The black part is easier because you just don't get a lot. Don't get a lot. Just get a tiny little bit, and then paint over that. It's okay if it's still mixed, if it's still wet, because it still makes it like a good smoky effect. But you still want it to have some black, at least a little bit of black on it, because then it will give it its nice little dark cloud kind of feel to it. So now it looks like a good smoke. Like the Balrog's flame is turning from fire into smoke. So now we did that. You don't have to work on that face anymore. It's really illuminated on me. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do that. You don't have to make it really illuminated. But finishing details. So finishing details is pretty simple, actually. Really simple, actually. Really simple. So you grab your brush, grab a tiny little dot of white. Do not do what I'm doing here. Do not wipe it on your paper. So you grab a tiny bit of white, tiny speck of white, and you find that eyeball, ploop it. I don't know if you can see that. And then you find that mouth, and you ploop it in the middle of the mouth there. So it gives it like a nice like shine. And for the blade, this is a very important part. Slightly dry brush it on. You might have to wipe it off a bit, but slightly dry brush it on, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have your Balrog. So that was my Balrog painting tutorial. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. And this is Spinosaurus signing off. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.